Google Classroom is a learning management system, or LMS, created by Google that seamlessly connects Google tools like Drive, Docs, Forms, Sheets, and Drawing into the LMS. Having a free LMS like this available may seem like the end of more expensive options like Blackboard, and some writers were asking that question at its release, see Hooker 2014. But Google Classroom is not nearly as comprehensive as other LMSs. Google Classroom is actually a very basic LMS, lacking features like a discussion board or school management tools like Gradesheet or Attendance. So teachers switching to Google Classroom can't give up all their other tools, see Emerson 2014. But Classroom does offer some great features that may make it worth adopting. What it does offer is easy for teachers and students to use. So on the main page, or the stream, allows teachers to add announcements or assignments, and students are also able to make comments. These include then the options to attach files. They can attach links, Google Drive links, YouTube links, or just links to other websites, and also to provide due dates. Really, it's the connection to Google Drive that makes Classroom such a powerful tool. When teachers create an assignment, whether or not they attach a file, student submissions will automatically be saved in the folder in Classroom. Students can choose what kind of file to work with, whether a document, presentation, spreadsheet, or drawing, and the file name will automatically be connected to the assignment and the student. This makes it much easier for students and teachers to keep track of their files, Doran 2014. Once a student submits a document, they lose permission to edit that document until the teacher grades it and returns it to the student. The teacher can comment on the document and ask students to make corrections and resubmit it. The next page, the Students page, teachers can see which students are in the class and choose to send an email to an individual or a group. The teacher can also choose to give or deny permission for students to post and or comment in the Classroom stream, and that's pretty much it. Now, just as a note about the emails used, to create a Google Classroom, the school will need to have its own Google for Education account and add teachers and students under the school's domain. Teachers can add a classroom, and students will need to sign up using their school accounts. And next is the About page. This is where you will find, first of all, a Drive folder for all the assignments posted for the class. The instructor can add materials for the class. This is a great place to post links, the syllabus, any other information they'll need to access at different points in the class. Well, that's a basic overview of what Google Classroom is designed to do. Now we'll look at those features in more detail.
Hi, I'm Bob Fischel, and I will continue where Jeremy left off and demonstrate how Google Classroom works. Jeremy provided you with a great overview of the features that Google Classroom provides educators. Now I will share my screen and show a little bit more of what he described. Jeremy described the power of uniting a learning management system with Google Docs, Drive, but before a teacher can unlock the potential of Google Classroom, they must first create a class. Once a teacher has an account, creating a classroom is as easy as clicking a button. And once the class is established, the teacher can begin adding students and assignments. From this screen, this is the home screen of logging onto Google Classroom. You can see that I'm logged on to our domain that we created, and creating a classroom, I just click the plus symbol and create a class. At that next screen, you'll just type in a name for the class and a section. Now that the class has been created, you need to add your students. So you can see the three tabs that Jeremy described during his presentation. And now when I click students, you'll see that there's a code for students to join. And up here, since it's a school domain, all the students have a logon as well. So they'll log on, you can invite them, and this is the code they'll need to enter your classroom and begin seeing the assignments that they'll need to complete. In this class, you can see that an assignment's been created called Music Example. You can open the assignment and see that nothing's been done by any students and that it's due tomorrow. Now if you go back, you can see the assignment details. There's an embedded YouTube video asking the students to watch the Boccherini Cello Concerto, and that they need to listen to the piece and describe the tempo in the beginning, middle, and end. There's many ways you can utilize Google Classroom. This is just one example. You'll continue hearing about the strengths from Kristen in the next presentation.
Google Classroom offers many strengths. One of those strengths is that it allows a school district or a teacher to go paperless. By doing this, it can also reduce a lot of time for the teacher. Teachers no longer have to worry about transporting paperwork back and forth to school. They don't have to worry about taking time out of a class to hand out an assignment. Teachers can also reduce time. Instead of having to hand grade assignments or go through and handwrite comments in a paper, they can all do that within just a matter of a few clicks. Teachers are able to respond, add comments, and return it all within just a matter of a few minutes. Another strength of Google Classroom is that when teachers give an assignment, they have the opportunity to embed other types of media. Teachers can upload their notes, attach a YouTube video link, or also add a YouTube video that maybe is a how-to video. All of these types of media that you incorporate, the student will have access when you give them the assignment. Here below you'll see that I created an assignment, and I also attached a YouTube video. So when my student receives it, they know that this YouTube video maybe will give further explanation or provide some help with the assignment. So this is a great tool to just give some more support to your students when they're completing their assignments. In doing my research, I found an article titled Computer-Based Approach to Collaborative Learning in the Classroom. In this article, it goes on to discuss different problems that we have with online classrooms. One of those problems that they discussed was that students oftentimes don't have communication with peers, and they don't have collaboration with peers. Well, when using Google Classroom, it allows you to have Google Docs, which can really promote collaboration among your students. Those of you who aren't familiar with Google Docs, it is a program that students will use in Google Classroom when they complete their assignments. Here you'll see an example of Google Docs. This is what my group has been using for our ISD project. Here we have done everything through Google Docs and we've been able to communicate with each other, add comments, and so forth. Here you'll see that Jeremy made a comment about something in our report. It's highlighted. So if a student makes an adjustment or an edit, it will be highlighted with their name. So you don't have to search through the document to see where it is. Teachers also have the opportunity to get email notifications whenever a student makes an edit or makes a comment inside a document. So this will help the teacher to be able to see how students are participating, who's participating, and how often that they are making edits to a paper. You can also monitor the communication when you get those notifications that teachers or that your students are communicating in a document. So this is just a great way to encourage collaboration among your students and allow them to effectively communicate with each other all through a Google Doc.
Now that you have seen Google Classroom demonstrated and learned some of the advantages that come along with using the learning management system, I will review some of the disadvantages. The digital divide that currently exists amongst today's students can become a greater challenge with a classroom management system when it is heavily incorporated into the classroom. Specifically, in-home internet accessibility and the use of internet-capable devices are two fundamental components when trying to fully integrate a learning management system. Various barriers can act as a roadblock in utilizing a learning management system. To start, the school must have sufficient bandwidth to support Google Classroom and its features. Within any classroom, the students will bring a mix of technology abilities to the table. In the event of technical difficulties, it is imperative that the appropriate support be available. Additionally, no technology tool is truly successful without teacher embracement. Bringing teachers on board with Google Classroom will help to ensure that its features are fully utilized towards achieving learning objectives. Google Classroom is a product of a company, Google, and as such, its altruism must be addressed. Exposing students to high concentrations of Google products will likely sway their future tech choices towards Google Chrome, Google Drive, YouTube, and other Google products. By immersing students in a Google Classroom, the Google company is likely to secure future users who will, in turn, bring the company more business from ad companies who are interested in reaching these future users. Furthermore, Google did admit to data mining student emails for the purpose of targeting advertisements. The program itself does have limitations that other learning management systems have overcome. One such limitation is the grading option afforded by Google Forms. The system also lacks many of the features that other learning management systems offer, such as annotation tools, calendar integration, and an audio-video feedback tool.
The Google Classroom: Managing Learning, a Revolutionizing Experience, Usability and Sustainability. The Google Classroom is an effective learning management system with practical and innovative abilities that sustain long-term and immediate learning goals. Educators and teachers manage learning and expand learning concepts and provide students with educational opportunities in a powerful and innovative web-based software. Teachers and students are able to create and share content, and it also provides the instructor course control, builds teacher collaboration for teaching resources, provides synchronous communication, and fosters inside and outside classroom interaction between the teacher and the student. Teachers are able to determine student comprehension on various subject contents. Teachers are able to use summative assessments with Forms and Flabrio apps, use Google Forms and rich media to create and engage summative assessments that will be used to evaluate student learning. In addition, students and teachers can also use forms and the Kyanza form and application to assess coursework and provide feedback to each other. Google Classroom infrastructure expounds upon learning expectations, clarifying the processes in learning and the overall objective within each assignment. Students have a clear picture of the outcomes of each task. The virtual classroom. The teacher is able to provide students an expedition virtually around the world where many students would not be able to travel. The virtual classroom builds multicultural awareness and fosters student insight with the uniqueness of every race. This builds active learning and collaboration of learning. Students and teachers are able to embed multiple media types within Google Classroom. Students are also able to use the social network as a powerful tool to exchange ideas and to troubleshoot. This also builds the learning, collaboration, and active learning. The Google Classroom evolves with the needs of learners, and it allows teachers and students to be able to have the liberty to learn in a way that is practical and even comfortable.
To conclude today, I want to talk about several different things that we have mentioned when talking about Google Classrooms and why it's important for teachers to use on a day-to-day basis. One thing that we talked about in detail was Google Setup and how it's user-friendly for all teachers or educators to use. It can be done in a traditional classroom or it can be done in an offsetting classroom such as professional development. Another thing that was talked about today was organization. You can use Google Classroom to help classroom management more efficiently. You can set up Google Drive within your classroom to input documents to share with your students. Students can also submit assignments that way to make it a one-stop place for all documentation. We can also use Google Classroom to become a paperless classroom. Every day, budgets are being cut across America and other countries when it comes to small things like paper. If we can save a little bit of money on paper, then we can use it in another source to help our students out. We talked a little bit about security. Google Classroom has gone through great strides to try to make it more safe for all students. One feature that is very important to know is that Google Classroom provides outlets where you can put specific information into your classroom and share it with your students, so it's not giving them the leeway to just kind of hop around on the internet to see what is available. It also has no ads, so students aren't looking at content that's not appropriate to them. Finally, I'd like to talk about communication. That is the biggest asset when it comes to Google Classroom. One thing that you can do is not only collaborate with your students in a more efficient manner, you can also use that to document any kind of collaboration that you have in between with the student and yourself. It also could be a safe net that way. Another important thing is you can use it for PLC to collaborate with your peers. You can use it to talk to people at different countries, maybe about some different things that you would like to use as an innovative creation. Maybe if you're a language arts teacher, you'd like to do a pen pal with a classroom, and Google Classroom can allow those different opportunities with all of your students and peers. So to wrap up today, Google Classroom is a very efficient tool that can be used in addition in your classroom. It can help ease the pain of classroom management, as well as offer your students new devices and technology. Thank you.